What a 48 hours we have had, folks. Welcome back to the show. We're happy to be here. I've been amped to get back on this pod and chat. But welcome, folks, to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
What's going on? We have so much to talk about. This might be, in history, the most jam-packed Stache Club Wrestling pod episode in history. This is, I believe, we are now crossed the 150 mark. This is 151.
Absolutely.
I do believe. We are going to talk TNA Bound for Glory, being there in person, our whole experience. We're talking Crown Jewel that also happened this week, bright and early. Shout out everyone in the stream. Monday Night Raw was great, 2 to 3 great matches on there, and then including the ending, which we'll talk about. And then, as you reminded me last night, WrestleDream predictions. The SCW Predictions Championship is in the other room. We'll probably grab it before we get to the predictions at the end of the show. But the SCW Predictions Championship will be on the line for Crown Jewel. And actually reminds me, we then have some business to take care of. All right, I'm gonna get the title. You chat, lay down the law, whatever I want to say.
Okay, all right. TNA. So maybe it's a half-hour long TNA chant. Actually, while John's gone, let me talk about what was supposed to be the match of the maybe the year, maybe of TNA history. Evans and Slater ended by Dark State. Let me just take this time to personally talk about Dark State. You mother.
Okay, we're back. We're back. Folks, get these suckers back on. The SCW Predictions Championship will be on the line again this weekend at WrestleDream. However, I now have the official numbers in front of me. We were kind of live keeping track, and I did take this title from Jimmy this past weekend at Crown Jewel. It was a hard-fought one. What was the match that came down to? Tiffany and Steph?
Stephanie Vicaire cost me, which, there's worse persons to cost you the title than Stephanie, so it's okay. Sure. It's okay, but congratulations, John.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. So I feel like you've been on a little bit of a tear with the predictions. But like I said, I'm a fighting champion. We're turning right back around, putting it on the line this weekend. But I want to talk about our experience. It's the title of the episode here. TNA Bound for Glory. We got the opportunity to be there live and in person. Before we dive into too much stuff, I want to give out some thank yous. One, to TNA overall. There's a couple different, friends of friends and people knowing people. So I want to give a big shout out to TNA in general. I want to give a massive shout out to Jack, aka Shrimp Designs, over on Instagram. Really cool photographer, great guy from based out of Detroit.
Hilarious, actually.
Yeah, hilarious guy. Got us these crazy, through I think his rep or whatever the situation was, hooked us up with these crazy floor seats. That was killer. Got us in the building. We weren't gonna go without him. No. You know what I mean? I was just gonna let the show go by, and then he just hooked it up. And then a second hookup, I gotta give a big shout out to the SRG Universe family. Everyone there, just out of kindness, just also then hooked us up with the corporate suite. So if you saw, that's why you maybe saw us posting videos from the floor and then up in the on the roof acting like Sting. I like to hear, you know what I mean? So yeah, SRG, they're a wrestling card game / board game company, so go check them out. And go check out also at Shrimp Designs on Instagram, both those people. Thank you so much for making our TNA experience just unreal. And yeah, I don't know where to start, to be honest with you. It was a overwhelming night. Actually, I do know where I do want to start. I got a plug before we really dive into stuff. I have a really, really crazy second half of this story that involved me last minute speeding over to Logan Airport to drop off BDE and Brent Oakley. There's a whole story there. And so yeah, head over to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. And also, I'm going to talk about, I'd love to hear from you about our experience and some personal stuff, but we're going to get, I think, really down to the nitty gritty personal stuff over on patreon.com, again, /Stache Club Wrestling. That's the plug. Okay. TNA Bound for Glory. Jimmy, I've been talking, singing my praises, but I would love to hear from you about, in terms of being there, as a member of Stache Club. And, I'm going to go on to also say to speak on your behalf. Thank you to all the fans and all the people that came up and took pictures. Everyone had so much nice things to say. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you talk. I want to hear from you now. Go ahead.
Piper in Portland, Chicago, Punk in Chicago, Brett in Calgary, AJ Styles in France, SCW in Lowell, Massachusetts. I might have a legitimate chance of becoming mayor in that fine town, city, whatever it is. What a outpour of support. Kind of not my first show as an SCW member. I went to SmackDown.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
But got some love there, met some fans there. But the overwhelmingness of just picture after picture, handshake after handshake.
Crazy.
People, giving us personal compliments of just like, Jimmy, since you joined the channel, it's been really great. All that stuff too. To the point where I started kind of hoping that, there's been kind of instances where whenever I go out with you in public, we get recognized. There's some people that will only know you and only know you from Lumberland. I was kind of hoping we get more of those later on just because I was so tired. I was so tired and exhausted from meeting people and overwhelmed. I'm like, I need more people to be like, oh, John from Lumberland.
Take the picture with John.
Yeah.
Take the picture with John.
But still, it was such a awesome, fun experience that made the event so much more meaningful for me. And then of course, like the show itself was phenomenal. As someone that's been, grew up with TNA wrestling and watching it on Spike TV, it was such, and then just... match after match, each of them had something special, but then of course the Hardys, Dudleys, my inner child just like wept watching that match, and given it wasn't the most 5-star classic, but if you understand professional wrestling, you know what those 4 men mean to this business. It personified what it meant to be a professional wrestling fan. Being in that building, being one of the 7,000 plus that were in there. What a freaking night! Something I'll never forget. And just thank you to each of those people that you mentioned earlier, the fans. Wow.
Yeah, all genuinely like all the time. And I'm not just saying this to, gas up whoever. And like, I know we got the, hook up between a couple people and, TNA and, whatever. But I like genuinely one of the best events I've ever been to. It was so good. And like I said, I'm not just saying that because we got a free ticket or like whatever. Like I'd be saying it regardless. It was so cool. And like as I was regaling this whole story about meeting fans and and I got to the end of the story and I was like, oh yeah, and on like the cherry on top, like you said, we also got to see the Hardys versus Dudleys in person. Like that's so crazy. That's like the 4th like craziest thing from a personal standpoint. Of like, oh yeah,
friend of the show, BDE made his TNA debut.
Shout out BDE, made like that. We were losing our minds. Him making his debut wrestling in a TNA ring in front of 7,000 plus in Lowell. So proud of him. Shout out him. Yeah, dude, just an unreal night. And it's like there's so much to talk about. Like I'm so scatterbrained. And I feel like, and I mentioned it to you like a bunch of times, and I'm sure you saw me a couple times, but like, and I put it in my tweet, just, I was so overwhelmed and just like, we had so much to do. And this is kind of, I'll get more into the weeds of it, like I said, on Patreon, but like, yeah, there's, overwhelmed by the amount of people and then people coming up. And then in my head, I'm like, we also got to like film content. And we're like in our heads, we were going to make a vlog. I kind of abandoned that because I was like, there's too much going on. What's happening in the ring is the real show. Like, what are we going to add? We had other stuff to film. So I was like, I don't know. I was so scatterbrained. So, but like, yeah, everyone, I don't know. I could go on endlessly just, talking about how the gratitude I have for that night.
Absolutely. What I mean? And I was happy with the content we made. I thought we did a pretty good job.
I think we did too. I put out the one video with Patty that I think came out really good. I have a couple more videos to edit that we did like some games, like the one Russell Lumberland Shout is in one of the videos. Got to hang out with Russell. Shout out Russell, RBK. Haven't seen him in a minute. It was great to chop it up with him. And yeah, just a unreal night. And like you said, I've this is what I was gonna say, and we'll move on to actual matches and whatever. But I could talk about this forever. Is the I've been to SummerSlam this past summer. Got the opportunity to go to WrestleMania 40, which is like something I'll never forget. Been to Raws, been to SmackDowns, been to AEW shows, blah blah blah. And again, I'm not exaggerating. When this was, we have never been stopped so much. Like that's kind of what, to your point about like hyping up low and Stache was well represented. We probably got stopped I don't know, 20, 25 times, something like that. You know what I mean? I've never been stopped so much, and everyone was so nice. So shout out you if you're listening to this and we met you, said hi, took a photo, whatever.
Even folks too after the fact hitting up us online, saw you guys, wish we said hi. I'm like, oh, next time do that. Don't be
so
scared.
crazy, dude.
Just because I look tired doesn't mean I won't do it. You know,
it's like sometimes like. I'm very, very lucky to be able to do this, and it's something that's I never take for granted. But sometimes during the weeks, like it does become a job sometimes, especially if I get bogged down with editing. Sometimes I spend the whole day just 12 hours of editing, and like sometimes like, oh geez, like this is a lot, and it's events and moments like that where people come up and say like, oh, we're a big fan of the channel, or been following you since Lumberland, or just got into you, or in some cases, oh, like you guys inspire me to do X, Y, and Z, whatever. I hear that, and one, I'm like, oh, I can never stop. I'll never stop. And then two, it's like it puts I don't know. It revitalizes me in a sense, like, oh, this is, as much like, listen, I get called a fucking moron 8 times a day. You know what I mean? On the internet. Like, oh, you didn't know the who wrestled in 1973 on January whatever. I get called a moron 8 times a day. It's great. It's awesome. But it's moments like this of being around like the real, real true supporters. And, these are the people that are either leaving the positive comments or they're, watching without commenting, but they're like, fans or whatever. Point being is, it's moments like that puts it into perspective of like, oh, this is like, where people are listening. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is crazy, and we're actually connecting with people, and it's stuff like that kind of, like I said, revitalizes me and shows me, oh, this is what we're doing it for, and you know what I mean? I don't know. I hope that came off how I want it to come off.
I think absolutely so. I mean? And like what also helps too is when like WWE's firing on all cylinders. It has a great programming to talk about, which happened this past week or so.
Yes.
And then you put that into perspective of going to the TNA Bound for Glory show, experiencing what we experienced that night, and it just being you almost euphoric in a way.
It's crazy.
Just unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
just so unbelievable.
I'm happy. I'm really happy to do it with you. It was a great night I had with you. Shit rocked. I'll tell you too. One of my favorite moments. Again, we'll move on and talk actual wrestling. But when we got into again, shout out SRG Universe for getting us into the corporate suite. We got there early. Like we got to the show early, and I was kind of like, I was wanting to get something to eat, and we had to go inside early to like secure tickets, and like there was no exit, and I was like, I guess I'll like eat inside, whatever. I was kind of like just freaking out about that.
Shitty weather.
Yeah, bad weather too. And then when we got into that corporate suite, and there was fruit and like some tater tots, and like pretzels, whatever. When I tell you, when we opened up that lid on that whatever heater it was, whatever, and there was just an array, a mountain I would call, of chicken tenders. I was like, whoa! Like this is what we do it for.
I was devastated because I had already filled up my plate with all the other stuff, and then we opened up the chicken tenders. I'm like, shit.
I was like, holy shit! I was like, that saved me.
Oh
like,
yeah,
these chicken tenders saved me.
Fuel.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, let's I do want to talk about like the Hardys match and the world title match, and we'll move on to like Crown Jewel and Raw and stuff. But again, to cap off the thank you, just one more big thank you, Shrimp Designs, SRG Universe, TNA Wrestling in general, and shout out and thank you to all the SCW faithful, the fans, everyone that said hi, everyone that just was on the internet saying hi or whatever. Wouldn't be here without you guys, and the support is crazy. But yeah, man, Lowell, shout out Lowell.
Hell yeah.
But okay, enough of the sappy shit. Yeah, Bound for Glory, and in general, past all the great event we had, my personal experience, also just a great wrestling show, top to bottom. Admittedly, especially me, I was kind of bopping around like the whole night. Like I had to like refocus and like watch matches. You know what I mean? Like pay attention. But women's world title match was killer. The gauntlet match was great. Again, like shout out BDE in it. All right, let's pause there and then talk about so Dolph Ziggler and Frankie Kazarian right?
Nick Nemeth.
Sorry. Yes. I almost said you're right. Nick Nemeth and Dolph Ziggler. Nick Nemeth, excuse me, and Frank Kazarian both winning the gauntlet and getting the title. And as someone who hasn't been as admittedly, aware of I wasn't sure what that meant. I wasn't sure if they were apparently it meant they could cash in. I knew they got the opportunity. And that kind of played into a little bit of the end of the night. I don't know. How'd you feel about the split decision about Nick and Frank Kazarian both winning it?
Given what finish happened later in the night with a different match, it's a bit more ugly in my opinion, but got two phenomenal professional wrestlers, both now. I think an interesting dynamic when you have two wrestlers that are now I guess this is kind of their version of Money in the Bank. So having two Money in the Bank is kind of funny, and of course they played into the finish of the night. I started the loudest, and I'm sorry Nick Nemeth, I'm sorry Kazarian, during when they were kind of figuring out what to do, the loudest hometown man chant ever.
Oh yeah, dude, a hometown man. I was unaware about Hometown Man. Hometown Man is sick, dude. Hometown Man rocks.
And many folks in Lowell, Massachusetts wanted this guy to win. He had the Larry Bird jersey on. He had some.
Came out with Wally.
Came out with Wally. Yeah, it was phenomenal. But it was an interesting decision. And of course, it played into the main event a bit. I would have rather Nick Nemeth just win alone, I think. But that's just me, because Kaz also, before that match, won the International Championship over Steve Macklin. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Steve Macklin beat him. I'm sorry. But he already had a match, was what my point is, which I'm like, all right, he already wrestled. I don't know. It was what it was. But overall, the match itself, a lot of fun. I
love that TNA does the intergender stuff. Seeing the men and the women going at it, in the gauntlet match, and then the big tag team match they had, people coming in, whatever. I thought that was cool.
I'm normally not a big intergender wrestling guy, but I thought it moved well, and it having some of the moves, I think Ziggler hit Mara with a super kick.
Okay,
that was unreal. But it hit on many levels, and there was many highlights. I love Jake something. The Santino spot where Kazarian was trying to argue,
and then he pulled out the Cobra,
which was crazy too, because we're in the lobby beforehand. We're filming, and it was before we met the card guys and got the sweet tickets. We just casually see Santino walking in the hall with actually Focus Pro Zone.
Monty Aries, also Diego, also a part of the show. He played a zombie during one of the entrances. Yeah, shout out to the guys.
I think he was trying to play low key, but my big ass Mark mouth instantly just goes Santino, and then Santino with the most hey, which it was nice to him, but also maybe I shouldn't have blown up his spot.
Santino.
No one really reacted too much, and they got where they needed to go. But I don't know. I think I kind of blew his cover a bit.
That's funny.
But yeah, many good moments. BDE showed out. I love the choke slam reverse into a cutter spot. So good. And then
the place went crazy for him.
Heart dropped because I thought he was going to be instantly eliminated. They got me there.
Yeah, I like they did that spot. Eventually did get thrown out by Eric Young. I think took him out.
Yep.
Yeah. Even I think it was the same match. That was the big tag match. That was the hardcore match. There was thumbtacks involved.
Hardcore war.
That was great.
I'm a big Moose guy, so it was good seeing Moose represented.
The Moose chant. Moose. What else? We caught a little bit of the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That was cool. We were kind of bopping around a lot. We didn't see the Mickie James induction up front. I think we were kind of up top.
We were moving around, but we're having a conversation with someone. But also, I was kind of oh, Mickie James is speaking. This is pretty crazy. Oh shoot. But yeah, we're basically
saw beautiful people
right next to the beautiful people, which childhood dream for me right there fulfilled. Very deserving knockouts, women wrestlers really put the women's revolution on the map. They deserve their credit and they deserve their flowers too. So it was good to see that they got those.
And then I'll tell you what, man, This Javon Evans Leon Slater match was so good. Now you already alluded to your thoughts. We share the same thoughts about Dark State, but this match. First of all, I'll tell you now, it's my match of the week. Leon Slater, Javon Evans, my match of the week. And these two, I think they're both 21. Maybe one of them is 22. Whatever. Maybe one's 20. I'm not sure. Javon might be 20. I'm not sure.
Almost a decade younger than us.
So crazy. They're so talented. These guys. I saw a take on Twitter that I agree with. The term, these guys are the future. These guys, whatever. It can honestly be said about the ending of Raw, we're going to talk about later, is we have to stop I guess the general like WWE, all these other wrestling companies, we got to stop being like, these guys are the future, these guys are the future. These young guys are the now. Javon Evans and Leon Slater are the now. This match kicked ass. I loved them hitting the 20-minute timer, the crowd roaring behind them with like 5 more minutes, restart the match, Santino coming out. Massive pop for the 5 more minutes. Like, I thought it was done so perfectly. The crowd was on fire, and then just really just kicking the teeth. I think they might have went like maybe 1 or 2 more minutes into that, like 5 minutes, if that.
Matt, they restarted instantly. Evans hits him with like the Daniel Bryan kick and whatever, and like, oh my god, and then the near falls, and then
lights go out. Dark State comes out, and like, God, and I don't know. We were kind of talking off camera about this. Like, I don't know exactly whose idea it was. I think there's a I think it would have been one of these guys losing. I think would have been fine. TNA had a match of the year contender, and I'm so it's a heavy contender. And if they just stuck that landing and had a clean finish, it's in fighting for match of the year. The Dark State ending killed me. I thought I really was not a fan of that. I was so disappointed, and I don't even think like, I don't know. People talk good heat, go away heat, like it was. I just think it was. I don't know. It was an unfortunate dropped ball on what was just an all-timer match, one of the best matches I've ever seen in person. But yeah, that's kind of my.
They had some legit heat in the arena. Especially with me, if I was close to them, I probably would have took a swing. Mm-hmm. It was, and then of course,
massive. Fuck these guys. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, but that tells you a lot when they're just chanting "fuck these guys," not "fuck Dark State," because sure. You had an opportunity to go down, and I someone that's like somewhat of a TNA historian. Like I know some ball about TNA. That would have, if we had a clean finish, and the place would have erupted for either or of them, because
I agree.
Given we were kind of going back and we're chanting our faces off the entire night, but for this match we're going hard. A lot of like dueling TNA NXT chants, and then when this finish happened, I wanted to look everyone in the face that was chanting NXT, like, "Oh, you're happy we got NXT here?" Because Leon Slater's Team TNA. This could have gone down as a top 5 ever TNA match. And they got in their own way here. And then now reports of like, oh, WWE had to do something with the finish. And
which wouldn't shock me, considering 1, Javon Evans was involved, and 2, the ending involved Dark State. Like, it was a very WWE heavy booked match, just from a fan perspective. And yeah, it wouldn't shock me if that. So as much as I'm maybe like, and again, this is all speculation, who knows? But as much as I am maybe like, oh, TNA dropped that ball, it might have been higher powers that be in WWE that forced them to drop the ball. You know what I mean? It might not totally land on, I don't know, certain people's heads. I don't know.
And I hear what you're saying about, making sure that these guys that are labeled the future also get their credit and opportunities in the present too. Mm-hmm. Brian Alvarez kind of had a tweet that's gone super viral regarding Javon Evans, and kind of saying so similar to what you're saying, but like almost to the next extreme, where it's like, you guys are fucking up having those 40-year-olds in the main event. Javon Evans should be in the main event now. Javon Evans has been given a lot of opportunity. He's wrestling on SmackDown almost every week. He's wrestling on NXT every week. I think they're doing he's wrestling on TNA, Bound for Glory, right, in what's being called, what should have been probably the match of the year. He's getting a lot of opportunities. He's getting a lot of looks. This is all to build to him being a huge megastar, which I'm so confident he will be. So I think the scale back a little bit of like, he should be in the main event, give him the world title, this and that. Like,
Javon Evans specifically, yeah. I think you're right. They're booking him very well because he's just been introduced to the main roster. Like, him specifically, I think very well. But I think in the general scheme of things, I mean, like, you look at like a Bron Breakker, who I think should have been in the main event like for months now, and then finally they're doing it, and people are like, it's too soon. We're going to talk about that.
Yes. Crazy that we're not starting off with that.
I know. There's so much to talk about. I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I don't know. Well, okay, we'll finish up with TNA, because we do have a lot more to talk about.
But like that ending, though, it's like it's like Thanksgiving. You have all the side, you have the turkey, mac and cheese. It's going good. Football's on the TV. And then your drunk ass family starts fighting and just ruins Thanksgiving. And then that's what you're left with. Thanksgiving ruined, but you still have a nice full belly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like regardless, like I don't want to come across that like it didn't ruin the match completely for it. It is just now maybe not I'm not thinking about it as much for match of the year.
It can't be.
Now. You know
it can't be just because of that, which it's so frustrating. But
either way, those two guys killed it.
Amazing
They were
performance.
so good. And then we touched upon it a little bit earlier, being in the arena for the Hardys versus the Dudleys for Devon's last match, seemingly the Dudleys' last match in general, but there's speculation I don't know. Who knows about Bubba? Who knows?
Oh, you think so? He gave his boots to Jeff.
I saw a tweet, though, that was going to be like, Bubba's going to come out and be like, that was me retiring from Team 3D, though. I don't know. I don't really know too much ins and outs about it, but...
what more could you want for the end of your career, Bubba? But that's
insane match. We I everything surrounding this was so crazy, and even if we just went to this match as fans, we did go as fans, but if we just went to this match without all our cool stuff happening, whatever, and we still got to see the Hardys and Dudleys, still great. I'd be talking about it forever. Jeff Hardy doing the swanton off the ladder through the tables. The ending match storytelling of, Devon being taken out and Bubba just, I don't want to say giving up, but a lot of people are comparing it to the Ric Flair take me out.
Old Yeller.
You know what I mean? And then the Hardys just putting him through there. The beautiful moment of just them unlacing the boots, the embrace at the end, the hugs. That was pure emotion of friends / coworkers, 4 men that mean so much to wrestling history and changed the game for a lot of reasons. And just seeing one half of that match, careers come to an end, was just I feel very lucky that I was in the arena to experience that live, and also seeing the Hardys still go. Dude, this match was so much fun. I loved every second of it. Yeah, that's where I'm at on it.
We'll never forget it, man.
Yeah.
That Hardy's pop entrance-wise, that's something that will always stick with me. And then we're kind of on our way back to the suite, and just kind of the excitement, being a fucking kid again, just kind of running like Jeff Hardy. Couldn't believe it, man. Hats off to TNA, and what a freaking show. And then, of course, we still had a crazy, really good match main event.
Main event was great.
Shout out Mike Santana, representing PR, new TNA World Champion, and new, let's go. Good match against Trick Willie. And here's the thing too with Trick Willie. I don't know what the betting odds would be or whatever, but I'm very sure I'd put a large wager on him being a WWE World Champion one day.
Yeah,
he's almost a can't miss prospect.
Yep.
The guy can talk you into a building and then deliver athletically in the ring, and he's only getting better and better. And what an opportunity to be so young in your career and have this opportunity to main event a TNA Bound for Glory as the TNA World Champion. So cool.
I think, it was a perfect moment to cap. Here's the thing. I think we were kind of talking maybe the Hardys should have ended the show, right? It would have been a really nice moment. But I was thinking about it, and admittedly, I haven't been paying attention to TNA as much over the past couple years. I'm not as tuned in to what's going on as much as I am with Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite, right?
Thankfully, though, that the WWE relationship has kind of, forced you to kind of, pay attention, which is cool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I think what I appreciate about them sticking to their guns and having the world title match is, at the end of the day, this was still a TNA show for TNA fans where... Sure, the Hardys, admittedly, I was exhausted at this point too. You know what I mean? But I almost now appreciate and respect them being yes, we did have the Hardys and Dudleys, and that was the biggest draw of the night. However, this is still a TNA show, and we have our TNA World Champion here. That's how we're going to close the show.
Hell yeah.
For the people that, and admittedly, I don't want us to come off the wrong way. There were people there that might have just been there for the Hardys, right? And the people, that main event was for the people that also came, and not also came, but came for Mike Santana and Trick Williams for the TNA title. You know what I mean? So I do, in that sense, thinking back on it, I'm on paper, Hardys closing it out makes all sense in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I would have done. But I think seeing the result of that match and the emotions that Mike Santana expressed winning that title, having his kid in the ring, was his daughter, having his daughter in the ring, and just someone who deserves it so much, and a perfect way to end the show. And then we had, the Frank Kazarian and Dolph Nick Nemeth coming in.
Elijah,
that's we're like, what the fuck does
what's his TNA name?
But Elijah coming in, taking out Nick Nemeth, and then Mike Santana taking out Frankie, and so a nice little cherry on top to end just a historic night, for many reasons for TNA and just wrestling in general, and that shit rocked. What a night. What a night.
You'll never forget it.
Yeah, no, generally. When I say that was an all-timer night, man, crazy. Okay. That is TNA Bound for Glory again. As I want to give a thank you and a shout out again to everyone for making that night so special. But we're now going to move on. We do have Crown Jewel to talk about and stuff, but I do want to talk about the big news, the headlining news here. We have Bron Breakker turning on Seth Rollins last night. There's so much to talk about here. There's so many different opinions going around. I personally loved it. I was watching Raw on a little bit of a delay because I need to catch up on some sleep after,
I don't blame you.
That night. I loved it. I think the big discussions, people are saying that it's too soon. They did it too soon. The vision just started. Absolutely not. No, this was perfect. I don't know why people want to be like, I only like it because I expected it. This was an unexpected moment, a headline grabbing moment. This is what wrestling is. I think it was so perfect. Like you were alluding to earlier, it catapults Bron Breakker into the main event picture like he should be. He held the world title. He recruited Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed to be on his side, and this was great. I really loved this. What's your take on the whole too soon, not too soon? Did you like this turn? What do you feel?
First of all, I was watching Raw live because I am
I saw your tweet.
I'm the fastest rising content creator in professional wrestling today.
Of course.
So I'm on the ball. I'm watching Raw in my PJs, eating cereal. I'm watching the phenomenal show. A lot of great matches.
Really good show.
And then I'm watching the main event. Great main event. And then, of course, it kind of very something we've seen every week. Division coming out, laying waste to the Raw baby faces. And I thought it was good action, good way to end the show. And then I see the lower third graphic. I press close my iPad and I go to I crawl back into bed actually, and then I kind of go on Twitter and then I see Bron Breakker standing over Seth freaking Rollins. My favorite wrestler going today has finally broken out of the vision. The vision is now very much blurred. Let's freaking go. Not too soon, John. Not too soon.
I agree.
Given now there's a lot of reports of why this is happening, this and that. But here's the thing: why this is so beautiful, of maybe why this is happening from real life circumstances is the ruse of the century. Because people are now saying this could be because Seth hurt his arm doing the coast to coast headbutt against Cody at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, so that's the report. Is apparently people are saying that he might have a shoulder injury coming from Cody, and I don't know if that has implication on the turn, or if they were maybe that's an implication that the injury is serious. But there's gonna be more updates to come.
Because if you have a broken arm, why are you taking a spear, and then why are you taking a tsunami? But then also it goes to bigger picture, bigger brain, visionary. Could this all be a ruse to put CM Punk in a place of security where he doesn't think Seth Rollins has a vision heading into the world title match inside his main event, and he doesn't think Seth Rollins is squatted up, but secretly he actually is? Because here's the thing. I know it's kind of Seth Rollins just took a mean-ass spear and a tsunami and moves that, put guys on the shelf for months. Well, this is the same guy that was the Messiah Monday Night Raw that used to take sacrifices. I'll never forget there was a Survivor Series elimination match where Seth Rollins goes in the middle of the ring, gets on his knees and takes a bro kick right to the face, and he eats a pin. There is precedent of Seth Rollins is a much of a sicko to maybe make this happen and kind of do it for a diverge of CM Punk. But I'm choosing not to believe that. I'm choosing to live in the moment. I'm choosing to believe that they realize that Bron Breakker is that mother-loving guy. He is here to take over, not to take part. He's here to take over. And then we were speaking to like, yeah, Bron Breakker, because even on the promos of Seth brought up, like, so 6 months ago, you guys weren't kind of doing much. 6 months ago, Bron Breakker was the Mother Loving Intercontinental Champion.
Right.
And we were kind of talking about, like, Bron Breakker in this group isn't that really being elevated. The complete opposite is for Bronson Reed, who's been super elevated from this group, especially the inclusion with Seth. But Breakker, not so much. He's kind of gone back to being kind of the dummy, lackey, not much to gain from this group. This is now rocket strap territory. There's a lot of unknowns with Seth clearly, but what is known is that Bronson and Bron Breakker and Paul Heyman are dangerous. Dangerous.
So one question, because I must not have been paying attention too much, or I just missed it. So obviously the main event last night on Raw was a number one contenders match.
Yep.
CM Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
So Seth Rollins and CM Punk for the world title at Saturday's main event in November coming up.
I believe November 1st.
Okay, and then the sorry, just kind of getting for everyone else that is also confused and looking at the calendar. November 1st, Saturday's main event, and then there's going to be another Saturday's main event. That's going to be the December John Cena final match. But then the Saturday's main event that you're talking about, November 1st, like you said, will be the world title match, just to kind of get things in order.
Yes,
to be honest with you, I thought, which also don't love. I mean, I don't love a Saturday's main event. I don't think a lot doesn't happen. Things have been happening more and more, but
it's no bound for glory.
It's no bound for glory. I don't. Man, Seth versus Punk at Saturday's main event for the title. Can't run me a Survivor Series or okay.
Because given though we don't know. Because there seems to be a lot of murmurings about Seth's arm. It was that picture selfie guy. Seth's trying to eat ice cream cone, mind his business. He's in a sling.
What happened?
A fan took a selfie with Seth after the crown jewel. Seth has. I'm sorry, I'm chronically online.
I'm very confused right now.
Seth has a ice cream cone, but he's also his other arm is in a sling from a selfie with a fan. So there's legit legs to this story about Seth's arm might be mangled. This is why this is all happening now. Which, given too, if his arm is mangled in a way, that match might not be happening. There might be something going on where they either, because it's why it's so interesting and why it adds to why the ruse of the century is so good is because we don't know what's going on, and like it keeps on the edge of the seat. It makes
but can we do two ruses? Can we do two ruses with the injury? I don't know.
I think we can.
I don't think I'd like it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, because how would that play out? Like logically. Is Seth faking another injury? Like, what's the point? What happens? You know what I mean?
He lures Punk into a false sense of security, and he thinks that Punk's gonna think it's gonna be 1-on-1, him versus Seth, and then lo and behold, oh shoot, my guys are still with me this whole time.
I hate that.
I don't love it too, but I think that it's a credit to the Ruse of the Century that I'm even kind of entertaining this idea.
I see what you're
because
saying.
this isn't the typical, we just realized our champion who won a big match is injured. Let's go send him out to the Raw crowd, cut a promo, tearfully eyed, and relinquish the title. So the Sun tells me they decided to go this route with a shocking faction split. For some reason, and whether that reason is because of the arm and whatever, it's so captivating.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the part that I'm most curious about. And it's almost like I don't want to know. Like I don't want to know if was this the plan all along? Was this another Triple H like enjoying the show? But yeah, or was this a pivot? Because it would go to people's credit saying it's too early in the sense of like, oh well. Seth Rollins is injured and needed to like pull a trigger.
A lot of those it's too early is because you mother lovers couldn't predict it. I've been saying mother lovers a lot today.
Yeah.
People just want to predict everything that happens. I'm one of those people because I'm on a podcast and I like to predict things. But like that's what makes me enjoy this moment so much more.
Yeah,
was like I shut off the show because I thought the show was over, and then to come to find out that this guy split Seth Rollins in half and has now taken aimed for his throne on top of the card, which he deserves because he's phenomenal. Bron freaking Breakker.
Yeah, I want to be shocked. Yes. I watch wrestling for these like surprise moments and like I don't want to know what happened. I talk about this all the time, but like when I'm watching a movie, I have friends that are like when they watch a movie, they're actively trying to like predict what happens next. It's like, why are you trying to, like, you're actually trying to spoil yourself? Like, it's fine, you're sitting there and you're like, I bet that person's the killer. But they're like, I've seen movies and stuff with people who are like, one thing will happen and they're actively starting trying to piece together like the story, and it's like, why don't you just watch and find out?
And I'm guilty of that with wrestling. I am. I admit it. But like, it's so much fun sometimes. And like the fact that it is pretty fast for a faction, because a lot of people are throwing this.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that at all.
But that's what makes it so unexpected and fun. And like, so many people are throwing out, when this group was formed, like, oh, this is like evolution, this and that. Well, with this split, it's a lot more similar to Judgment Day and how Edge was only there short, or even so the Nation of Domination with like Farouk, which is crazy that I'm comparing Seth Rollins and Farouk. One of those sentences that you never thought would be made. Yeah, but like, this is just absolutely shocking stuff,
and it does go to Bron Breakker's character. Like, he's a loose cannon. He's, especially as they built him up more and more as just a dog and a guy that's like, if you take the leash off him, he's gonna do something crazy. It goes to his character, and plus there was like those seeds being dropped even throughout the night. Like, earlier in the night, there's the whole promo, and Seth was basically like, I don't need these guys. I don't need Braun. I don't need Bronson Reed.
I don't need anyone.
I don't need Paul Heyman. And just basically bold-faced lying, gaslighting himself, and being like, I did this all on my own. I won the world title on my own. I did this on my own. This is all just extra. I'm trying to help these guys, and da-da-da.
He said this is rarefied air, which I like.
Rarefied air. But him just basically snapping under all this, these accusations that he... and we saw it at Crown Jewel where which I love the storytelling, where the match was straight up until finally the end, where Cody keeps kicking out, and we haven't really talked about that match too much yet, but we got a Cody cutter off the top rope. Seth Rollins pulled out the flying headbutt that allegedly might be where the injury is from. We got crazy. We got pedigrees. We got tons of stuff happening, and Cody kept kicking out. Seth, this whole story going into this match, he wanted to do it. Well, one, I think he wanted to do it alone, but then Paul Heyman doubled down on that and was like, even if he changes his mind, we're not helping him. This is a prove-it match for Seth Rollins, and he has to, it's do or die for him. And him, towards the end of that match, getting so desperate, and I think he still could have, I think the story is he could have done it on his own, and he was right there at the finish line. Cody kept kicking out, proving more of a challenge than he thought, giving up, going back to his old ways, still needing help, taking the watch, using it as brass knuckles, then using that to beat Cody. So finally, even like, I don't know, what was that match? 15, 20 minutes of like straight up wrestling. At the very end, Seth Rollins taking the coward's way out. I still need help. That matched with that promo on Raw the next morning. I did this all on my own. I didn't need help. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best.
He did do it alone. But with the
watch.
Well, hey, anytime you're going to be in a wrestling match, you got to bring a Rolex to a wrestling match.
Right.
That's the key.
But point being is, all of a sudden now, I think Seth Rollins felt so. I think he's ashamed of himself. I think he's ashamed. I think he's embarrassed. I think he's disappointed, because as he touts himself as the best in the world or the greatest wrestler to ever do it, he's needed all this help and whatever. So he has to like gaslight himself and be like, no, I didn't need help. I did this on my own.
He's literally Triple H.
He's literally
Triple H, where he knows he's a B+ player, and he has to have other people help him, but he wants
to be an A player so bad.
Yes.
And so much he's like, I am the best. Out of kayfabe, I do think he is.
Yes.
He's the fucking best. But in kayfabe, he's like, he keeps on coming up. I mean, he does have the world championship. His character, but, his character is just so, I want to be the guy. Roman got picked over me. Cody got picked over me. When is my turn to be the guy? And
then too, with like jealousy of like, Bronson Reed got a huge victory over Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, so that could play a little bit of a factor. And then maybe more so for Bron Breakker, kind of looking around, realizing, oh shit, Reed has got a big win over Roman. Seth Rollins is the Crown Jewel champion and the World Heavyweight champion. What the hell am I doing?
And
with that turn and that spear, I think it was very much evident and clear, as we saw on the show. Like, he had to, like, in the moment convince Reed, and in the moment convince Heyman. I don't think Heyman was totally thrilled about it. He was more scared than anything. Mm-hmm. So
that's what I like, too, because we've been talking for weeks about who's the real leader of the Vision.
Yes.
And at this point, we're kind of like, and this is the story they're telling us on camera, is Paul Heyman's the actual leader. Paul Heyman's the manipulator. Paul Heyman's the one pulling the strings, and he's letting Seth Rollins think. But in this moment, this seemed like this wasn't part of Paul Heyman's plan. Braun Breaker went off script. He went off the leash, and he couldn't take it enough. He has a very short fuse. Again, I think plays into why this happened so quickly. He has a very short fuse. He doesn't take Seth being so hypocritical and discrediting lightly.
Or Seth even telling him, hey, do the Twitch thing.
Right. Braun's like, that's not what I'm in this for.
Yeah.
Taking over the group. He's now the new leader. And, like you were saying, I think the detail of him having to convince Paul and Bronson, I think was really smart, because I think Paul had a plan all along. This was not the plan. But now Braun Breaker's like, he's said to it, he said, you have a choice to make. You want to go with him? You're basically with me or against me. And him, them putting that over of him being so intimidating, where he had to intimidate Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman to join him, I just think added so much to Braun Breaker, made him so credible, where now all of a sudden he took the vision from Seth. Paul and Bronson Reed are now his lackeys. Yeah, it was. I think it was a great moment.
I think that's a bit extreme calling them lackeys.
Well, I'm just talking here. It's not.
Well, then the Reed too. You got to think from his perspective, like, Rollins recruited him to be in the division basically based off the fact that he kicked Rollins' ass and he took out Rollins. So also Reed's perspective too, where you just beat Roman Reigns, you have the back of your mind that you took out Rollins, many months ago, and you could probably handle him yourself if you really wanted to. Why would you stick around with Seth Rollins with Braun Breaker looking you in the face and like, right, let's do this thing together, type thing.
But they are not on the same. Those three men are not on the same level.
You don't think so?
No. Oh, I think Braun. I think
I'm also worried too about an outside factor coming in and Brock joining the group and Brock being the main guy a little bit.
See, I don't think that's the direction there. Yeah. I don't see that.
A small part of me thinks that's something that could happen.
There is still. Brock. We do know Brock is still like on a contract. He's still around, and we did have that Heyman. Paul Heyman stuff. So like there is reason to think,
and that would feel very much of a dangerous alliance too, whether they can maybe rename the vision to.
See, fuck that. Give me Brock Lesnar still fighting over Paul Heyman on a pole match. I think that's Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the WrestleMania, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which I think I would rather that happen. Like, I mean, I guess you could do like a classic, like someone joins we just did like the group setting where then someone breaks up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's more of an outside, thought.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. It's worth bringing up, I think. Yeah. But no, I think, and again, I will be told this story the coming weeks, but how I see it is now Braun Breaker's the leader.
Okay.
And I don't think Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman, like, you're right. I was just kind of talking about lackey isn't the word. But I think that, not scared, but I think Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman in that moment knew their place. And now it's Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Paul.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Trust me, I'm with it. But
we'll find out.
I got to give my credit to the Oscillo.
You're right. He did just beat Roman Reigns.
Big Roman Reigns.
You're right.
He has victories over Seth. Like, yeah.
Yep.
So and then he's the one that's really been elevated. Where now finally Breaker is gonna kind of broke through. And this is all developing and all so captivating. Where I'm like, I cannot wait for next week's Raw.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I feel like we haven't had a moment like this in a long time. It feels like Bloodline days where like something happens at the end of Raw and we're like, I can't wait till the next episode. You know what I mean? I haven't had that feeling in a little bit, and I think this was great. And again, we were talking about the Seth injury. I'll be really curious to hear whatever reports come out or see next week, because like that does whether it ends up being like a kayfabe thing, another ruse, or it ends up being a legit thing. Regardless of what it is, it's going to play heavy into whatever is going to happen going forward.
And of course, what's going to happen is this podcast will be released, and then there will be some kind of more definitive news. And
the classic curse, as it'll throw out what we've just been talking about for about 25 minutes, totally out the window the second we upload it, and I think that'll be very classic.
Kind of in the same spirit, a little more words about Seth versus Cody, because that also, I thought could be a
great match, dude.
Match of the year contender. I don't think it will be there, but like, dude, what a phenomenal showing from those two men.
I agree.
Like almost like if Hogan, it's like modern day Hogan Macho. If Hogan could actually wrestle and wasn't racist, like it's amazing. These two guys are, Cody's QB1 and Seth is second fiddle, But second fiddle in the biggest wrestling company in the world ain't no small feat. And of course, got the win here, much needed win. The Avalanche Crossroads, like that to me was
crazy.
so special. It kind of killed me that Seth did kick out of it, but what a way that it was executed. So freaking good. I'd give it 5 stars, but maybe a half star off of it just because of the disrespect to Kathy Kelly post-match with the interview. Don't do that, Seth. But yeah, and then of course the storytelling with the Rolex and even Seth also too, kudos to him because he's 0-3 against a guy, 0-22 if you know ball. He switched up his arsenal of moves in this match, knowing that Cody and him have wrestled so many times and kind of like in a way of like kind of trying to throw Cody off his game, hit a rock bottom on Cody. So like what a phenomenal match. And then and shout out Riho and the Kabuki Warriors.
Killer match.
Those 2 matches had to follow one of the best matches of the year, which like I was immediately saying after AJ and Cena with Tears in My Eyes and the pay-per-view, there's nothing that could even there's the rest of the card is a dead spot, but those 2 matches were really good and they overcame that
situation. I kind of forgot that this happened the same week, so I think I have to change my match of the week.
I was kind of gleeful that you said that. I was like,
I kind of forgot that this happened.
Well, maybe that's the next thing.
We'll get to it.
Because I
do want to talk about Cena AJ.
Oh, sure.
Cena. It's crazy that this is the match we're talking about only now, almost an hour in, because like, bro, this match, dude. I mean, I took a screenshot. I talked about it. I think I did a yays and boos for it. But I took a screenshot of all the references here in terms of the moves. We're ready? So we had Cena, Skull Crushing Finale via The Miz, Accolade via Rusev, Walls of Jericho, Chris Jericho, Sister Abigail, Bray Wyatt, Second Rope DDT, Randy Orton, RKO, Randy Orton, Choke Slam, which a lot of people are saying Undertaker, but I think you might even mention it. A lot of people I think are now right. Big Show.
Because the way he did the choke slam was kind of the rising like up like the dead man thing, the dead man spot, like kind of because he was kind of on the ground and then caught him, but. It was Big Show deserves some love from John Cena because Big Show really had a large part in making John Cena.
Tombstone Pile Driver, that would be more Kane Undertaker, which this says Kane. I don't think Kane has anything to do. I don't know why Kane keeps getting
Kane
listed.
John Cena have had like 2 words spoken to each
other. And then teases of the punt kick, 619 and Pedigree. AJ Styles hit the Scorpion Death Drop, Sting, Coquina Clutch Samoa Joe, Angel's Wings Christopher Daniels, Deadeye Adam Page, or Fade to Black Frankie Kazarian, probably more likely.
Yes.
Attitude Adjustment John Cena, Sweet Chin Music Shawn Michaels, and then a point for the crowd for doing the Fireflies during the Sister Abigail, which there's a lot to talk about there.
Not Sweet Chin Music. That was the last call for James Storm. Some people are saying that. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to talk about there, but like the Sister Abigail was just like the way he caught him and transitioned into it, and then like
the kiss should have been on the lips though.
sure. Plant one on him, but the immediate emotion between like myself watching it, the crowd, once like he got in that position, and you take a beat, and then you see like, oh. Really, really cool. The smile on his face, the kiss to AJ, hits the Sister Abigail, place goes crazy, Fireflies, and John Cena. I caught a moment of him looking up after he did it, with all the Fireflies around him. Just a unbelievably special moment. We're talking about special moments a lot this week in wrestling. Another just all-timer special moment in wrestling. I'm getting you shivered a little bit. I'm getting a little goosebumpy talking about it. That was amazing, and even to like, a Shawn Michaels AJ reference, the match we never got, right? The dream match that we could have got but never got. It's a lot of speculation, or we're close to it. These two tore it the fuck down. There's a question I have for you. It's a question I got. I talked about it on Yays and Boos. After this match, a lot of people call Randy Orton John Cena's biggest foe, right? I think on kayfabe, on paper, I think that makes sense. In terms of wrestling soulmate, in-ring chemistry, Punk or AJ?
AJ.
Me too.
AJ.
I agree.
AJ.
I agree. And it's not, I don't think that's just recency bias.
They did wrestle an hour on Monday Night Raw.
Punk and Cena.
Punk and Cena.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's
a tough one.
I said AJ all confidently, and I'm like, wait a second.
It's a tough one. I think, and maybe it is recency bias. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think it's a slight edge to AJ. I think Punk and Cena tell the better story.
Yeah.
But I think if we're just talking straight up wrestling graps, I think it might be Cena, especially after this match. I think this might have solidified it that it's Cena AJ. But it's a 1A 1B, you know.
And yes, this match, was it just spamming finishers of like past foes? Yes, but you have to understand the context and the magnitude of the situation. The crowd eating every single one of those moves up, and a smart crowd that knew each dedication and tribute, all wearing those piss colored shirts, which you would think that the WWE gave them away.
Yeah,
no,
that's crazy.
John Cena walking away a very rich man after this. I
can't believe they had that many. Like that's insane.
And then an ode to I think it was their Royal Rumble match. They never left the freaking ring, man. They never left. AEW eat your heart out. No, I'm just joking. They eat, but to never leave the ring is just a beautiful kiss on the. Was it a kiss on the cheek? What expression was I going for there?
Beautiful.
A cherry on top, I guess.
There
Yeah. Of just a phenomenal, nostalgia filled, beautiful match between, again, two wrestling soulmates that Bray Wyatt spot, got tears in my eyes. And then even too, kind of off randomly, Monday Night Raw, Punk got like a Stone Cold massive pop, and there was a woman with a sign that said 19 years or whatever, and she got me going because she was bawling.
Did you see
her
on
eyes
Twitter
out.
she got to meet him after the fact?
Fuck yeah. Fuck, wrestling's awesome. Dude,
Wrestling rocks.
People that say, wrestling, it's fake, right? Fuck you. It's awesome.
Just another note that we didn't even mention to the AJ Styles side of things. Very, very, very TNA coded and driven style of match. Him coming out with the attire, which what? Get those thighs out.
Yeah, that's the thing. He had clothes on, but he is the most naked man in the world because his anytime a wrestler doesn't wear knee pads, you look like the nakedest man in the world.
Right.
And then also, but his knee pads are a bit lower, kind of on his boots, and then the booty shorts, the small little shorts that he wore on the cover of the Pro Wrestling Illustrated from 2005, and then the choker, which also just adds
cherry on top,
very much naked, but
so good. That was the first thing I was like, he even has the choker. It's great attention to detail.
Hell yeah,
I absolutely loved it. And then John Cena seemingly written his intro to be announced, and the Mr. Total Nonstop Action, shouting out his old nicknames, Bullet Club mention. We're like AJ. Yeah. Oh shit, Bullet. A beautiful just ode to each other. And I think also capped off this being really special is AJ announcing that 2026 will be his last year.
Right.
So a real just this is obviously the last time we're seeing these two together. It's one of the last times we're seeing John within this year, and it's one of the final great matches we're going to see of AJ. Just a unreal match. And again, it is crazy. I think we've been talking about, there's been conversations for weeks that WWE and wrestling in general is a little bit on a downslide, and things are a little just this past week,
SmackDown was really good
back?
Too.
SmackDown was good. It feels we feel back. We just gotta get through you gotta get through the times to get to the great times. And I love this match, and I think you were right. Which the Io and Rhea versus Kabuki Warriors having to follow AJ Cena, that's crazy, and they tore the house down. Shout out Australia for. Obviously you had Rhea Ripley in that match, hometown hero. So that
helps get the crowd back into it.
Yeah, but the crowd was killer whole show. This tag match was really good. We haven't mentioned Stephanie Tiffany that much, which they should have got 5 more minutes.
Very short, but I think probably Tiffy's best match of the year for Tiffy.
Sure, I don't think that's crazy. I really like this match, and I do think we came out of. This. I think this was a great pay-per-view. We briefly mentioned Bronson Reed defeating Roman Reigns, which super sick opener.
You need more Australian shenanigans, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, true. It was the Australian street fight. But no, I think a killer. ESPN gave it a B, which I was kind of just teasing of just like oof, but like good grade. I would have said B plus,
maybe A minus.
maybe A minus.
Yeah.
You know.
And also, so it's very heavily rumored that Cena might be facing Dom at some point, whether in San Diego Survivor Series or one of the Monday Night Raws he's advertised
that
for.
would make sense.
So John has maybe a month and a change to learn how to do the 619 because the crowd chanted for it, and then of course Cena, the best professional wrestler of all time probably, then of course went for it, but. He's John Cena. He's almost 50 years old. He's not going to go for the 619. But you have a month, John. Hit up Ray. I know you guys are probably friends. Learn how to do. Maybe Dom, too. Maybe Dom could just teach you. Learn how to do the 619 because I think it's something that you almost at this point you gotta at least try to do.
If he hit that 619, I would have lost my mind.
I was watching your stream and watching the show at the same time, and your stream was a bit behind me, so I'm watching the 619 attempt. And I'm just watching you. I'm like, John's gonna lose his mind. And I think you're talking to the chat while he was setting up. I'm like, no, John, pay attention. Oh my god, it's so good. It was so good.
A great, very very strong event. Yeah, in general, just period. What a fucking week of wrestling, huh? All right, where do you want to go to now? I mean, there's a bunch of stuff on Raw. We can, as we're getting into an hour, we can do WrestleDream predictions. I don't know. What do you want to? There's a lot to happen on Raw. What are you thinking?
We could talk about some Raw. Maybe finish out Raw.
Finish out Raw. Yeah. Rhea Kyrie was great. I thought. I mean, all four of these women. We just talked about the tag match at Crown Jewel. All four of these women have so much chemistry. The continuing story at this point, Asuka laid in that slap to Kyrie.
Yes.
Oh my god, boom. So the continuing telling of, Kyrie being, caught in the middle of things, and, the eventual, we talk about every single week at this point, but the eventual catching her hand or whatever is going to be the pop of the century. Also, they're still in Australia. So Rhea Ripley's still getting she does everywhere, but especially in Australia, getting the real hometown pop and the hometown love. Superstar. Yeah, I think this was great.
And with this rivalry of these four women, I think three of them are already made women in terms of being over in the WWE. Kyrie, I think, might be coming out of this once it's all said and done, looking the best and has the most to gain. Because
I agree.
I can't wait until she finally turns on Asuka. And admittedly, I've kind of got myself in some hot water with being openly a size. Oh, not the spear, Kyrie saying spear. Being a sizist. I'm someone that when professional wrestling, I like my wrestlers to be big, whatever. And if I'm watching a smaller wrestler, they kind of have to get over that hurdle for me. Kyrie has gotten over that hurdle for me. Her moves are impactful. They're believable. Even though she's a very much smaller wrestler, she is so crisp and talented in the ring.
They were beating the shit out of each other in the tag match.
Beating the absolute living piss out of each other. So yeah, I'm starting to come around to being a big Kairi Sane fan, which is so cool. And yeah, my favorite storyline going right now on Monday Night Raw, the Raw Women's Division holding down WWE, and they deserve their flowers and credit. Also opening your boy Dom Mysterio. Penta IC title match.
Honestly, kind of an unsung match this week. I think if there was, if it was less busy week, like this match, I think would be talked about a lot more. Dom versus Penta, killer. Here, I love what they're doing with Dom here. Forever, we've been having Dom Mysterio matches, and then Finn Balor comes in, or Roxanne Perez comes in. We do a crappy finish, and someone grabs someone's boot when they go for take a bump or hit the ropes, whatever. Great, awesome, love it. Happens every single time. This is how Dom should have been booked the whole time. You book him like, I was almost going to say heel Eddie Guerrero, but like Eddie Guerrero did the cheating shit throughout his whole career, face or heel. But you book Dom like Eddie Guerrero, where cheating isn't just him being a conniving heel. Cheating is part of his moveset. Cheating is part of who he is as a wrestler. So I think doing the whole he tossed the AAA belt, that distracted someone, got the hammer, distracted the ref with the other belt, put the hammer in the boot, hit Penta with the hammer, whatever the fuck he did, 619 with the loaded hammer. It's amazing. And for who Dom is, sure, we talk about clean wins and whatever. In my book, this is it's a win without any interference. Sure, there was cheating, whatever. This is wrestling. a clean, straight up, just these two guys start and finish the match, and I love it.
Rusev did come out.
Oh, you're right. Rusev did come out, but still, it wasn't that much.
It's a win that
I agree.
It's a win that falls under the category of Dom doing it by himself, because Rusev wasn't there to help Dom by any stretch of the imagination. And of course, in Dom's faction wasn't there. And then of course after the match, and it was a very fun opening match, a good start. But then Dom later on in the night, backstage talking to Pierce and Styles, accidentally gets his faction stablemates booked into a tag team title match for next week's Raw. So I love when they're building that dynamic of like Dom's really kind of hurting the Judgment Day a bit with how they're feuding with the authority figure Adam Pierce. Dom he's probably right there second behind Braun Breaker, my current favorites.
Yeah, and we had this conversation earlier about like these, a lot of these guys aren't the future, they're the now. Dom is also an example of someone that they are treating as the now. Like he's the IC champion. He is, having great matches on Raw. And I think I do think these guys a Braun Breaker and Dom Mysterio are the guys right now, but I do think don't be afraid to take that next leap. Don't be afraid to give Braun Breaker that world title. Don't be afraid to give Dom that big win somewhere, a world title in the next 2 years. Also you can say the same for Javon
Evans. Imagine if he wins a Rumble, dude. Imagine if Dom squeakily somehow wins a Rumble, hiding under the ring the whole time or something. I don't know.
I think he's capable. I think he's in that conversation. Yeah. Who should obviously I think Sammy is still the front runner, but I think now Dom has to be in that conversation of potential winners in January.
If not this year, the next year,
I agree.
Bayley Lyra was also pretty good. Some Judgment Day stuff. Another slap, but kind of a different theme slap where Lyra slapped Bayley to kind of wake her up and get her into it. I love Bayley a lot. And then of course, kind of interesting that I thought maybe I'm kind of stretching here, but I of course very much pay attention to Roxanne and Raquel's gear, but their gear was very reminiscing of WrestleMania 41's Liv and Raquel's, the red gear. And I wonder if that was a bit of a kind of hint, maybe Liv Morgan is on the prowl to come back eventually. Because
even just more storytelling of Roxanne, I'm taking over the Liv spot. Yeah. Maybe that's a good detail.
Or maybe I'm just kind of pulling at straws there.
I also love this match. I like what we're doing with Lyra Bayley, and I feel like I've been pretty positive this entire episode. We've been going for about an hour plus. I'm kind of not caring about the Bayley character at this point.
Okay. You're waiting for some more substance, I think.
Yeah. I just want to know, and I'm not counting these chickens before they hatch, right? I'm fully in the mode of we're still developing it, we're still doing story with what is happening with Bayley, is she her having these multiple personalities. I'm fully still on the train of willing to see where it's going, but I'm just kind of can you give us a little bit more of a why, or just I don't know, something a little more than just I'm crazy, you know what I mean? I'm still enjoying it, and I like the crazy thing of it. I do just think we're dangerously just getting close to this Bayley character being just a crazy woman that a lot of women get slapped on with the character. Now you're crazy. Yeah. Now your hair is always messed up and you're you know what I mean? I don't think we're gonna get there, but I'm just a little bit just okay, yeah, like you said, I think substance was the good
I think even Lyra in a kayfabe stance is also wanting the same thing. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of the story.
And maybe and like I said, maybe that's the point of it. Maybe the point of it is for me to be what the heck is going on?
Hell yeah.
We can go to, I don't know, was that Raw? I think that's Raw.
The number one contender match was pretty solid, about 8 or 9 minutes. But good. I think the right person took the pin. So my boy Los Angeles did not get the pin. I think Jay pulled him out last second, then went for the splash. Punk got the knees up, and then GTS, how you doing? 1, 2, 3, CM Punk's your number one contender. Dude, the crowd singing Cult of Personality. I don't think I've ever heard a theme song sang that loud before. It was deafening. I was like, geez, Punk is a god here.
I think it's that or Voices in Paris.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's 1 and 2. Yeah.
What a moment that was. Very solid match. All men worked hard. And then Jey Uso, of course, was the reason why Roman Reigns lost at Crown Jewel.
Jesus, we didn't talk about bloodline stuff.
Jey Uso spear Roman through the table mid-match, and then, of course, Bronson Reed got the win there. And then Roman's, of course, hilarious line of, I don't want to see you guys until Christmas, which is crazy because Thanksgiving's right around the corner. What are you gonna do? They said they're not seeing there on Thanksgiving. I mean, gosh.
There's so much going on with, like, the bloodline stuff, and which I'm really glad you mentioned, like, the spear through, because this is, I can't believe we haven't talked about it yet. We got a lot more story, and even on Raw we got Jimmy Uso versus Bronson Reed beating Jimmy Uso, and
Jimmy Uso. Sorry.
Before that match, like, Jay was kind of like, handle your shit, and Jimmy's like, you think I can't handle my shit? Like, oh, I'm gonna go beat Bronson Reed. Lost. Yeah. So that's a big a big implication. Like, oh,
squashed.
Jimmy can't handle his own here. Jay progressively becoming more and more like the tribal chief of old. Roman kind of growing into this, like, new version of, like, elder tribal chief, where he's like
Unk.
He's still Unk tribal chief, where he's still, like, gaslighty and stuff like that, but he's like
gaslighty.
He's a little bit more just like disappointed Unk, or he's just like you said, he was like in the ring and he was like, that's not how this works. Like this isn't bloodline of old. And he's just like being disappointed, just like frustrated, and like, I'm trying to help you guys, which I think is still like him being manipulative and shit, but like it's to a way calmer degree. So I think we're getting way more. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Jay kind of progresses. At the end of the night, I think Jimmy did come in, and Jay just kind of, or it was either during the main event, I think it was during the Bronson Reed match where Jay came in.
He made a save.
Jimmy was just kind of like, maybe asking for a handshake or whatever, and Jay just kind of shrugged him off,
talking shit to him.
In terms of like you said you could handle this shit. Here I come again, saving your ass, and da-da-da. So yeah, that's been really interesting to see that this all developing between Crown Jewel
I see
and Raw.
folks too be like, oh, it's bloodline stuff where they're gonna break up again, but like it does feel a bit newer and refreshed given where we are and like how far both the Usos have come. What really killed me though, especially on the topic of like how far the Usos have come. Jimmy and Jay are making the save for Roman because Breaker and Reed are taking it to him. Music hits. It's me, main event Jay Uso, but both Usos are coming out. Justice for Jimmy motherfucking Uso. They have a tag team theme song. Yeah. You can yeet to the tag team.
They used it like recently too. Yeah.
And like the fact that they hit the music from main event, it's just me, Us, and like it's both of yous. Like Jimmy Uso, stand up for yourself. Tell whoever hits the play button to play the tag team theme song. That was outrageous.
I think with that said, I think we can go to WrestleDream predictions.
Okay. Do you want to do Wrestler of the Week and Match of the Week before we have them there?
Sure. Okay, I need you to go ahead because I gotta get my thoughts in order.
So
here.
Kind of easy, kind of a cop out here. If you want to argue with me, you can, but I think you won't because you're a good guy.
Okay.
My Wrestler of the Week are the Dudley Boys.
Ooh, absolutely great. Why would I argue?
Well, there's two of them.
No, they could be a tag team. They could be a tag team.
Okay,
yeah.
So my seemingly retiring. I mean, definitely the Dudley Boys as a tag team are retired. The last match at TNA Bound for Glory, we were there for it. We were screaming our faces off. An emotional time. Shout out Devon Dudley. I think I had some like heart surgeries, a couple years ago. So there was a very much of a nervousness, anxiety-ness to this match, and he got through it like a champ. Undoubtedly the most decorated tag team of all time. They've held. Go look at that picture of them with the 80 titles. It's not Photoshop. It's not AI. It's those titles are real, and they won them. The Dudley Boys. Kind of a double-edged sword here, but you noticed it kind of early in the night, and it's a thing now with wrestling fans altogether. But they are the reason why one of the most over things in wrestling is a table. And people are chanting tables any match they get. And there was the hardcore dream match earlier in the night.
Yeah.
And the crowd starts chanting tables. I'm like, there's literally a fucking tables match later on tonight. Calm down, guys. It's kind of like the what chants, where the table chants kind of to me are a negative thing, but those table chants wouldn't exist if it wasn't for one of the greatest tag teams of all time, the Dudley Boys, who retired at TNA Bound for Glory. So shout out to the Dudley Boys, my Wrestlers of the Week.
I mean, again, we talked about it way earlier, but like I think it could be this whole episode, like being in the arena for Dudleys versus Hardys and them doing the I forgot what the move was called, but the "What's up" was crazy. Getting to be a part of Devon, get the tables against, like, again, and all this is like, it's not like it was Dudley Boys versus some random, like, we got to be a part of a get the tables yell during a Dudleys versus Hardy Boys match, TLC, or tables match, excuse me. I thought this. I mean, we could go on and on about
Sick
that. But
Swanton Bond. I looked right at you, John. I'm like, fuck Tiffany Stratton. Forget about Tiffany Stratton.
It looked great. Matt Hardy was also killer. They hit a 3D. I think at the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
3D out the gate. I think they then also put, I don't know if it was Jeff or Matt, they put someone a 3D through the table, I think. Which, now that we're talking about it, there were a couple of table spots people went through the table. But hey, because there was
referee's discretion.
I'm pretty sure. Oh no, you know what it might have been? Because remember, like 10 minutes went by in the match. Or was it a different match? No, I'm thinking of which match was it where 10 minutes went by and the bell didn't even ring? Was it the Dudleys or was it the main event?
It was the main event.
Oh, okay, never mind. Because I was gonna say like, well, the match didn't start, so they go through
right.
Maybe that. But hey, wrestling. Neither here nor there. My wrestling. It's an unreal pick. I don't want to just like agree with you, just because, like, you know what I mean. It's like,
it's not the end of the world.
You know,
I almost went Javon Evans for the third week in a row.
I feel like I can't pick BDE because he's a friend of the show. You know, it feels
that's a great reason to.
It feels a little biased.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pick BDE. I'm gonna pick BDE for making his TNA debut. Unfucking real. Kind
of two ends of the stick there too, because I literally picked the Dudley Boys. It wasn't the best match in the world, them versus the Hardys, but they're retiring. They're one of the best tag teams of all time. I'll never be able to make them my Stache Club Wrestlers of the Week ever again.
Yeah.
So, but then your pick, first ever opportunity to make him the Wrestler of the Week, and you did it. So hell yeah.
All right, give me your wrestler match of the week.
AJ Styles versus John Cena. No questions about it. I almost cried during the Bray Wyatt part of it, and just like I've never. And then maybe there's something too. Maybe WWE can just be an Australian company because I kind of love morning grass.
Well, they're almost a Saudi Arabia company, so
no, actually, so maybe I should take my words back. But I do really enjoy watching wrestling at 9 a.m. I hear the international people kind of complain. Although sometimes those are like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. No, I don't want that. But something about having the rest of your day afterwards, and then also kind of being the most refreshed you are, eating a bowl of cereal, rocked for me. So watching that match that morning, just like really put me in a great mood the rest of the day.
Yep.
Nostalgia filled masterpiece. Honestly, like I would love to watch it right now. Like one of those matches where I'd be like, oh, let's go watch that right now.
Yeah. Here's where I do agree with you. I did forget this was all a part of the same jam-packed week. My runner-ups would be, to be honest with you, I think Leon I don't know. I was going to say Leon Slater and Javon might have slid in there for me without the ending.
Yes. I totally agree with that. I think if there was a clean ending, especially if Javon Evans won, which of course, I'm a bit WWE biased. I don't know much about Slater, but now I'm a huge fan. But if Javon won the X Division title there, that'd be such a fucking moment, especially too. Like,
we were talking about he's such an X Division. He's such a cool X Division champion.
And what a statistic in like 20 years from now, where like Javon Evans is one of the most accomplished wrestlers ever, and we know for sure. Oh, he's also X Division champion. Like when the hell that happened? Well, we were at TNA Bound for Glory, young man, because now this 20 years ago, 20 years now. I'll be 50. Okay, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
My other runner-up goes to your wrestler of the week, where Hardy's versus Dudleys. I had such a good time. Again, the bias here is also being there in person, but like I should watch that match back on the telly. But I'm curious to see.
Maybe on the page.
On the page.
Ooh.
That's a good point. I am going to agree with you with John Cena versus AJ Styles. That shit rocked. I was talking about we're talking about match of your contenders. That match is going to be a match of your contender for sure. I have nothing more to say about it than what you kind of gave. And
then like any other week, Cody and Seth would be like the match of the month. But like
Cody and Seth's a great runner.
They're like fourth. And then also like randomly, I just want to shout out Damian Priest and Aleister Black had a fun match on SmackDown, Last Man Standing with a fireball.
Yeah,
love that
fireball. Geez, so much happened.
So much
the fireball
happened.
was so. I loved it.
It was awesome. Very well done. And then now Zelina Vega is Alistair's manager. Cool.
Yep.
Love that.
Makes
Hot.
sense. Yep. Big fan. Good looking couple.
Yes.
All right. Let's run down. Jeez, what a week. WrestleDream predictions. WrestleDream on Sunday or Saturday? Do you know?
I think Saturday.
It is on October 18th, and that is everyone hold your breath. Saturday. Okay. Let's run. I'm gonna run down the card, and we'll just kind of go one by one. We have, or just go one. Fuck it, we'll just go one by one. Let's start at the bottom here. Just on the Wikipedia page, we're going trios match: Hurt Syndicate versus the Demand, a feud that refuses to end. Who won it at? Demand won.
Demand.
Give me Hurt Syndicate.
Okay.
I'm going Hurt Cindy.
I'm going the Demand. And I think it's kind of, my thinking is maybe, and this is all speculation because that's all I'm really good at, apparently. I think the Hurt Syndicate might be on its way out.
I don't think that's crazy.
In some kind of way, shape, or form. So maybe keep putting over the Demand, and that this, for all I know, this could be the swan song of the Hurt Syndicate because the MJF exit seemed very sudden and kind of like out of nowhere, and then you kind of just always hear stuff about them. Give me the Demand here.
Do you think it's going to lead to like a someone turns, like Bobby turns on Shelton, or like?
I suppose that would then kind of have to do with like if someone, maybe one of those guys are staying in AEW. Like, so maybe like one of them turns and then the rest goes away. Because something tells me that these guys aren't like the best fit in AEW. It kind of goes back to what Action Bronson was saying about it being clicky, and maybe they're not clicking right with the right clicks or whatever.
Fuck you, Speedball.
Fuck you, Speedball. But like, yeah, maybe. Because I think Bobby Lashley is such a, big draw and like a big deal that like. Why not have him compete for the AEW World Title before you lose him? But again, This is all my speculation, kind of just like my view on the Hurt Syndicate. And
are there talks that their contracts are up? Like, what do you mean lose?
Just like they're fit, and they seem the reports of them kind of being unhappy and stuff like that. So.
I haven't seen that.
They kind of don't fit the vibe. Really,
I see. They're way. I mean, Bobby Lashley is a WWE wrestler.
Yes.
MVP, also WWE wrestler. I think Shelton. I mean, like. Shelton Benjamin, obviously he's not in his prime. This is his veteran sort of era.
Mm-hmm. But there's also a WWE group. Like they're basically just doing what they're
also
doing.
True.
WWE. Yeah.
I think of the three, like Shelton can go anywhere because he's so versatile. Yes. But like Bobby is like a WWE guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he can also find success in like a TNA or whatever.
For sure.
All right, we'll move on to Jamie Hayter versus Tekla, and I believe I don't know this for certain, but could be. I don't think this is a statistic, but like one of the only like AEW women's matches without a title, like the singles match that's happened,
like on a pay-per-view.
I think so. I saw some. Unless I don't know if it was an actual like statistic or if it was just someone just like talking, but
it's definitely rare.
I saw praise for this match because it was a one-on-one women's match, not for like a title or a multi-woman or like whatever. I don't know. I both these women have different things going for them. Tekla, I think, is on a massive rise. She's the next big thing. Jamie Hayter, though, is pretty still fresh off a return. Jamie Hayter still Jamie Hayter. I don't know who you got. What are you thinking?
I think Jamie Hayter squashes her like a bug, like that she is. One trick spider. Just kidding. She's a really good wrestler, but I like calling her that. Jamie Hayter is my goat, and she just returned. She needs a big win over a heel.
Yeah, she hasn't gotten her big win yet. Yeah. I'm also going Jamie Hayter. All right, next we have for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, Brodito versus the Don Callis family of Okada and Takeshita.
Takeshita just won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship,
which is like crazy that not everyone's talking about that, and it's it's been such an insane week.
So much going on.
Takeshita getting the IWGP Championship over Zack Sabre Jr. Like that's a career milestone for Takeshita coming off the G1 win, and I know we're not like a big like. We're not a heavy New Japan discussions podcast, but like Takeshita winning the IWGP Championship is for sure worth a mention. That rocks.
We respect accomplishments on this channel.
Yeah,
for sure.
Man.
Yes.
So coming off that, I'll read again. You have Brodito versus Kazuchika Okada versus the IWGP champion Konosuke Takeshita.
God, on paper, that is such a mismatch. Not to disrespect Brodito. No, I take that back. A little bit. I mean, Okada is a god, and then Takeshita is like the young god, who is the literally reigning defending IWGP champion.
It's stacked. It's a stacked team.
Give me Brodito. I have Brodito written down here. Okay. I think they're still pretty new in their run, and I don't think those guys need the tag team titles, although big ass faction, you think they want as many toys to go along with it as possible, but yeah, give me. I'm gonna stick with Brodito.
Let me lay this on you. I'm going Okada Takeshita.
Nice,
because they've been butting heads.
Yes,
they don't like each other.
No,
I'm interested in a story where these two guys had the tag team titles, and the Don Callis is like, you two better fucking make it work, and they're gonna have these tag team title matches where they're like shoving each other for tags, and you know what I mean? Because like eventually we're getting this whole thing. I think is leading to Takeshita versus Okada eventually, and I think this would be a very funny and interesting stopping point in this lead up to that match with them getting the tag team titles.
Kind of like I'm the tag team champions type of thing, or maybe Don Callis gets a big oversized T-shirt and then puts them both in it and say get along.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I think we're gonna get some sort of like funny, whether it's that extreme or just like to the extent of it.
I'm for it.
But yeah, so I'm going Don Callis family. All right, next we have for the AEW TNT Championship, we have the Proto Star Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. Ooh, God, I fucking love Mark Briscoe. I love his backstage promos with the conglomeration. He has such like a 80s 90s promo to him. It's like yo, listen here, and the word of the day is da da da. Like he's so fun. It's a piece of wrestling that we don't see that much these days, and he still has it.
He's so authentically himself.
Yes,
which is like it's so good and so entertaining. I'm picking him. I think that win at blanking on the pay-per-view.
Was it Revolution? I forget what it was.
What was the last pay-per-view? What was it called? Oh.
Was it All In or All Out? What the fuck was it?
Briscoe beat MJF at...
It was All Out.
It was All Out. Big win at All Out. Briscoe beat MJF. Tables and tax match. I think you got to capitalize on the momentum. That's a massive win. I'm happy he's getting this TNT title. I do respect Kyle Fletcher a whole lot, but I think he's such set in stone the future of this company that you're going to have 80 TNT championship reigns. So give me Mark Briscoe, big title win here. And also this has to do with my later predictions where I don't see too many title changes here, but you got to have some. You got to have some on the card. So I'm going Mark Briscoe over Kyle Fletcher.
That's a tough one. I would love for Mark Briscoe to get the TNT title. Like he's so fun. I love that he's being featured way more prominently as of recent. Him having TNT title matches weekly would fucking rock. I'm gonna go with Kyle Fletcher just because for the basis of. I mean, I'm not going to say he's, like, still new with the title, but he feels still pretty, like, getting it off Dustin, like, a while ago. Like, it still feels like Kyle Fletcher's title for him to establish himself with. And I think Mark Briscoe is a great win to have under his belt. However, I'm happy for either. Seeing Mark Briscoe with the TNT title, there's so much you can do there. It's so cool. But I think just because it's Kyle Fletcher, I'm going to stick with him. But, like, I don't know. If we're doing confidence points, that's, like, my one. That's crazy. All right, next we have for a $500,000 cash prize, we have Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks.
You're going to hate my pick here, I think.
I don't know who to pick.
Well, maybe not my pick, but, like, why I'm picking this pick. Mm-hmm. I'm picking the Bucks that are relatively young, and I think it's going to come down to a turn. I think the dinosaur is going to turn on the boy, and I think the Bucks are going to give him the money, and I think we might be getting introduced to Austin, the man behind the dinosaur, and maybe a alliance with the man Austin, who is very tall and very jacked and very much not actually a dinosaur, but has been played a dinosaur and is beloved. Don't get me wrong. I actually love the dinosaur gimmick, but I think he's been doing this for 5 or 6 years now. It's time to grow out of your dinosaur word to Step Brothers. And I think the Bucks then, use this because this money stipulation is very interesting to me. Yeah, I know they've been doing the broke Bucks gimmick. Right. And I think the Bucks won one of these matches, but have already lost all the wins.
Yeah, they went to the casino and then lost it all, and they're broke again. I've been there,
brothers. But so I think the Bucks win this via a Luchasaurus turn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. God, I wish you could put $500,000 on that. Interesting. I think, and this would be another conversation. People's being like, too soon.
You know what
I mean? It'd be a shock.
Unexpected.
It'd be a shock.
Unexpected. Because I think, like, again, I love the fact that we're at the point now with AEW that we have nostalgia. And, you know, I still am kind of, I like the idea of the Jurassic Express. I do like that tag team and the history there. But I don't know. I don't really need to see much more of it. And of course, Tony Khan doesn't want to spend $50K on the theme song every week. So, you know, I think a surprising twist here would be compelling.
First of all, if you think Tony Khan doesn't want to spend $50K on a theme song, you're out of your mind.
That's fair.
I think I'm going to go Jurassic Express here because they're newly reformed, and it's a different Lucha Express. Like, it isn't Jungle Boy in Luchasaurus. It's Jack Perry in Luchasaurus, and I think they're a little. I saw some discussion about this. Is like they're a little grittier. They're not heels, but they're going to be a little bit grittier of a Jurassic Express. And it's not going to be. It's going to be the. You know, Luchasaurus is green again, but I think he's going to still have a lot of that kill switch in him, and I think we have yet to kind of see this newly Jurassic Express, you know, team fleshed out. Now that really goes to like, if they want to keep Lucha Express going, you know what I mean? Or it's not Lucha Express, Jurassic Express. And also I think, I don't know, I'd be curious if they want to keep the Broke Bucks thing going, because like it has been going on for a while. I don't think it's stale, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, all right, Broke Bucks are done, but them not winning the 500,000 is like another way to keep the Broke Bucks thing going, or them winning it is another opportunity for them to flush it down the toilet. You know what I mean? So it could go either way. Where were you
I was just gonna say, you know, it's hard to sell for me personally that, you know, Jack Perry is just a good guy again. I don't think like, you know, returning
agreed.
is like super like I still remember that you were kind of a POS on screen a bit. Like you're so like what has he done to win me over or convince me that he's a babyface? Not much per se.
Sure.
More so you're doing a nostalgia act, but I think a turn against and having his partner turn on him would kind of build up a babyface resume or babyface momentum for Jack Perry, because I'd feel awfully bad for him if he's getting his ass kicked by his old dinosaur and those two tag team guys.
That's true.
You know.
All right, next we have the AEW Women's World Championship. Chris Statlander, the champion, versus Timeless Tony Storm. 1-on-1. I haven't had enough of you, Statlander. I want to face you 1-on-1. This match is big. This match is big.
Huge match.
I'm gonna start out here. I think, first of all, this is the most important match of Chris Statlander's life. Give me Statlander over Tony Storm. I think because Statlander won it in not a roll up, but like a quick pin sort of thing,
in a 4-way.
In a 4-way match. This is, and it's basically the story that Tony Storm has been telling. This is the establishing match. Prove that you can beat me 1-on-1, and then like all the credit in the world to you. I think this is the not passing of the torch, but this is giving Tony Storm a break. So it's someone new's turn, and this will establish Statlander as a champion to beat Tony Storm. With that said, I could also see I'm not like 100% happening. I could very much see Tony Storm taking this title back. But I don't love what that does for Stat. So give me Stat over Tony. That's where I'm at.
I alluded to kind of for my Briscoe pick, like, I think a lot of retains here. I did forget that I did switch up last second because I did these predictions on the way here. I kind of had this thought, and I'm kind of going heart more over head here because, you know, Stat just won this title, and given like you just said, it was a roll up. It was a fatal four way. So like there's some discussions of like, oh, that's a fluke victory. And honestly, I was very upset with this booking decision of putting Stat over in that way in that match. I'm picking Toni Storm here, and it's more so because I don't think Stat is per se ready to be the women's world champion for so long yet. To me, she kind of has the Hangman Adam Page first reign syndrome where you kind of feel like a mid-carder as the world champion. And I think Toni Storm could kind of just go in there and go, bah, get it back. And maybe the story can then be, Statlander realizes her shortcomings here and gets fired up and kind of has a new pathway, needs a new pathway to get back to former glory. But I don't know. I think Toni Storm was the best character in wrestling. She had beaten so many people one-on-one. I did not love that she lost the title at All Out, and so I'm kind of going here in my heart. I'm picking Toni Storm over Chris Stat.
Yeah, I could see a story of like, you're not ready, kid.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I think that's a crazy pick. All right, we'll go to the AEW Men's World Championship, a singles match, straight up one-on-one, Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe. I love this match. I don't care that there's not really a build for it. I don't care. Sometimes I just want to see two great wrestlers go at it. I want to see Samoa Joe in a world title match, and that's what I'm getting. Who do you got and why?
I think this is the most obvious outcome of all time, unfortunately, but I do share the same sentiments that you're saying, that Samoa Joe, one of my favorites of all time. I love Adam Page. But this is going to be no doubt. I would bet $1,100,000 that Adam Page beats Samoa Joe, retains his title. But yeah, also it's very, very interesting that there isn't like too much of a crazy detailed story here. But at the end of the day, this is where the best wrestle, and we're certainly getting that in the main event. Looking forward to it. Give me Adam Page over Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I don't see Samoa Joe winning here. I have Hangman Adam Page as well. For what I was kind of like, like I said, I don't care. There's no story. At least like when it started, this whole thing was built on Samoa Joe being disrespected because Hangman basically like tossed him the belt or just like dropped it in front of him or whatever. I did like the promo they did the week following where Samoa Joe is basically like, you're not the guy. Like you're not the guy. You haven't beaten me. Da-da-da. And Hangman, which to what you were saying, why I think this is a little bit obvious in a good way of booking, is Hangman's really coming from a place of like, you're the veteran, like you are the guy. I want to show you that I can win. I want to show you and beat you to prove to you, Samoa Joe, that I am deserving of holding this title and I can be this world champion. Da-da-da. And Samoa Joe basically being like, I don't think that's true, but I'd love to see you try. And then, so this is a real just like the winner earns the other's respect sort of match. And I think it plays way more into Hangman being the world champion and being the main character of AEW. Gets the co-sign by Samoa Joe. Huge, happy, big celebration. Woo! Yeah. All right. Big match. Not going to be everyone's cup of tea, I'll tell you that. I Quit match. Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. Ooh. What are you thinking? Where are you?
The sexual attention to dump this coffee on my head right now, a la Darby on the Ariel Helwani podcast. So I'm not sure this is allowed. What I'm about to say for these predictions, where the title's on the line, most prestigious title in podcast history. I'm going no contest. A no contest too. No, neither of these men are going to say I quit. There's going to be some kind of monster truck running over, or there's going to be some kind of like gun pulled out. There's going to be maybe piranhas will eat both men after they fall into a tank. There's going to be some kind of spot where both men are going to be close to death or dead, and they're just going to say, hey, that's it, go home happy. These men sacrifice their lives for wrestling, and a holy shit moment. Also, kind of a big brain kind of prediction. I know you guys love when I fancy book. I think, and you're going to hate this,
Uh-oh.
I think we're really getting a little debut here. Because at WrestleDream, if you remember a couple years ago, we had Danielson and Cole, I think that was WrestleDream. Maybe
I don't know if it was WrestleDream.
Maybe I'm wrong. Edge came back WrestleDream, I think. I think we're getting a debut here in AEW. And it's one Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross.
What are you nuts?
Yes, I am. He's over. A million plus on
his
YouTube.
time in the spotlight's over. It lasts about 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, guess what? 15 minutes is back up, pal.
How was his last match?
How was his last match?
Yeah, did you like it? Who did he face?
He lost to Sami Zayn. It was bad. It was not a good match. Booked poorly too. Booked poorly. Not the right way to lose. And then I think he's been killing it on the indies. I think he's had a. I don't know what matches he's had, but I know he's worked with Shotzi Blackheart. We love Shotzi.
That's what I'm talking about. Sammy was not his last match. That guy's been working in MLW.
Oh really? Is he like a fully MLW?
I haven't been watching. Who do you face?
Alex Hammerstone.
I'm just teasing. I'm using you as the proverbial we want cross people.
Yeah,
and, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine.
I'm teasing.
But yeah, I'm going no contest here in this match, and kind of a random shout if we do Discord predictions, then there's usually always kind of like, what do you predict extra?
That's a good one.
Karrion Kross, the hot cross buns are back. Let's go.
I am actually curious because I don't want to just sit here and be like, who was that? I am actually curious what. I want to say Cardona. I don't know if that match actually happened or not, but I want to say Cardona. Oh yeah, cage match doesn't show up anymore. Cage match. I don't know what's going on with that.
Killer Kross, excuse me.
Ooh, Killer Kross defeats Matt Cardona in 2 seconds.
In 2 seconds. And that was a pay-per-view.
That might have been his debut. I don't know what the story is.
2 seconds.
When was that? That was 10-10.
Hey, look at that though. Look at who he teamed up with. Is Jimmy Clark in this? Is Jimmy Clark? I might even pick the Darby Allin. I think Killer Kross.
That's actually so funny.
Might be the way to stop the Death Riders. How do you stop death? With a killer. Ooh. Tony Khan, I swear to you, I won't charge you that much, but get me on your team right now. Let's go.
That's actually so funny.
They're friends.
That's
crazy. That's recent.
Is the month's the second number. Wow, that was the third.
October
Darby
3rd.
Allin, Darby Allin and Killer Kross defeated JD Drake and Stephen Borden at ACW 52W Hardway in NYC.
Is October 3rd that date from Mean Girls? You know where they?
Yeah,
it was October 3rd, and he asked me.
It's either 4th or 3rd. I think it's 4th or 3rd.
I think it's 3rd.
Yeah, it's October 3rd. Yeah,
and Darby Allin and Killer Kross tag team.
Hey, that's very fun. Did you know? It's very funny that
I might have known in the back of my head, but like now I feel like even more confident about that outlandish prediction. Let's go.
This Google search actually really kind of helped you. That's so funny.
Darby. I mean, that's the thing I tweeted to right away after the way Karrion Kross lost to Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. I said, Karrion Kross, you are all elite. And I know he doesn't like per se fit the exact AEW ideal mold. There might be a percentage of the fans of AEW that might reject a Karrion Kross or Killer Kross AEW run, but I think that he has maybe friends in that company, and like he does have a big following, John. I know you like to discredit the cross bosses and whatnot, but there is people out there. I'm not flip-flopping here. I'm not saying that's going to make me watch AEW every week, but it's an interesting thing to happen on your wrestling show, I think.
It's kind of interesting. We do have the next Killer Kross match will be November 8th. Killer Kross with Scarlett versus Joseph Von Schmidt at Doomsday Resurrection for UCW. Which also they give him the WWE tag, which I guess that's just like a indie thing. You know what I mean? But I was just curious to see what his next booked match was, and I think that is it. Looks like he's also going to be at September 21st. Already happened. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, not that.
Sorry, John. Who do you have in this match?
My point of that, what I just said is, AEW is always cool about like indie promotions. Like I was kind of seeing what his other matches coming up were, and in the sense of like, if he was booked around that date, or like if he, you know what I mean. But like AEW is always
loosey goosey.
Yeah, with like the bookings and shit. Darby versus Mox. First of all, I like your pick, because this whole thing is based on neither of these guys are going to say I quit. You know what I mean? We came off the last episode of Dynamite, or the one before that, with Darby with a flamethrower, and then we also had Darby with a taser, running around with a taser. So I think, like you're alluding to, the next step is a gun. Someone's bringing a gun to this match. This is going to be brutal. It's going to be a bloody mess. These two are going to kill each other. I don't see Darby losing. Moxley has lost big matches. I think Moxley can eat the I quit here. I'm going Darby over Mox is where I'm kind of going. Darby kind of fresh off his return still. I don't think Darby's ever going to say I quit in his life. Like, I don't know. You're going to have to kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even then, if he's dead, he can't say it.
If he's dead, he can't say it. And I think Mox, we've seen iterations where Mox does have a breaking point. It's very, very high up there, but it's still before Darby's is kind of where I'm
and back in my day, an I quit match used to mean literally I quit from the company.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you noticed this, but a lot of Dean Ambrose mentions on WWE. A lot of the Shield playlist was uploaded to YouTube.com.
I did see that.
Who's front and center? Young Dean Ambrose. I don't know, John. It might be time.
I did. Yeah, I did.
I hate to say, all these AEW guys are going back to the Fed, but like I don't know, it's a little interesting. I think.
Yeah. Before you got here, I saw like the WWE Vault or whatever it was, like uploaded the. With Dean Ambrose's face, like right being front and center. Let me see if I can find it.
I think he was mentioned in the Seth Cody match or something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The Shield. Let's see.
It's definitely not nothing.
Or Kurt Angle comes back. There it is. WWE Vault is currently airing the complete history of the Shield on its YouTube channel. Dean Ambrose right front and center. Be an interesting watch. I have to watch. I imagine it's premiering, but I'm gonna have to watch that.
One of the longest United States Championship runs of all time because he never defended it. I'll never forget that.
Wow, interesting. Well, those are our picks. I'll say it right here. I'll have to issue a sorry for doubting you if we get a Killer Cross debut. You know.
I'll be looking forward to that very much so.
All right. Well, I think that's the show. We covered, and I'm sure there's stuff we didn't touch upon. You know what I mean?
I feel pretty good.
I actually feel pretty good.
That time accurate? So, hey, not 4 hours, but, I think a jam-packed episode.
I expected us to sniff 2. I thought we were going over 2. But I also have to keep in mind, I do have to export this. Yes. But, folks, head over to the Patreon for another hour of us chatting. We have a bunch of questions. I do have a big story that kind of goes on to the rest of my/our night at TNA Bound for Glory. Oh, I do need to order. I should have got a TNA shirt when we were there, but like I didn't want to wait another line. Oh, bro, the line. Last thing we'll say, we'll sign off. I'll finish the Patreon plug. Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. But so I was hanging out a little because you left right after the main event. I hung out like a tiny bit, and the line for the meet and greet, dude.
Oh yeah,
was unfucking believable. Matt Hardy tweeted out they were there doing meet and greet stuff till almost 4 in the morning.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I had that thought. I remember that earlier, and I wanted to mention that because like that's incredible for them to do that. Yeah,
and like I saw. Cause at this point I was outside. I was right outside the doors of the venue, but like I saw. Who did I see? I saw Mike Santana, and I don't know. I saw 1 or 2 other people like walking from like wherever they were in the locker room through the lobby to get to the meet and greet.
Yeah.
And like. These guys, especially like, a Mike Santana and, even just like a Hardy's or whatever, going through what you did in that match, those matches, and working your ass off or whatever, then having to do a meet and greet until 4 in the morning.
Insane.
All the credit in the world.
And then, of course, too, I mean, not that this is like a huge moment of it, though, but we are going back and forth from the suite in our floor seats kind of a few times throughout the night. At one point in the night, we go back down to our floor seats, and there's a woman being treated, and she has like a neck brace on. There's a medical emergency.
I hope she's
but then
okay.
we almost bumped into, like, physically Angelina Love, because Angelina Love was coming to us. You didn't even realize it was her.
Yeah.
And then she was like Hall of Fame dress and all this stuff, and she's a gorgeous woman. So I was like, whoa. And then, but like she passes as she would pass, like right next to on the floor was the woman being attended to. And it was like, I'm so overwhelmed,
There's
John.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, it's crazy.
So I was like, I don't want to wait in the line. I was like, I didn't even want to wait in line for the bathroom. I was like, I gotta go home. This is crazy. But yeah, I do have to order a TNA shirt. This shit rocked. Anyway, folks, again, final plug, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We have a bunch of your questions. We're gonna kind of talk more about, probably get a little more personal and sentimentally on there. I had a couple things in mind, but appreciate you being here. Appreciate you listening. Creeping up on 2 hours. Thank you for being here. all-timer episode 151. Thank you again, TNA. Thank you again, Shrimp Designs. Thank you again, SRG Universe. And see you next time. See everyone next time. One Foot Road. We'll see you. Goodbye. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go to the Patreon. Bye. 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 Bye.
Stay curious.
I don't know if it's like an anxiety or whatever about like, oh, I need to make the most of this. Like this, someone gets a text on their phone that their flight is canceled.
Oh, fuck. But, if Jade Cargill wants to be on the show,
who's to say?
Come on over. She did interact with our TikTok.
If you both picked a top 3 matches of 2025 as of right now, what would you pick?